Alright, we're quickly going to go through the name on a string assignment. It's from the 3DVinci book. This one, we're going to be using the Sketchup for Schools app again while we're on remote learning, so just bear with me. I'm still getting the hang of this program. It's quite a bit different than the desktop version. Alright, so first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go with the simple template of feet and inches. The instructions that I've sent out are asking you to use the 3D printing inches template. There's only these three templates, so this is what we're going to go with. Alright. And it's saying that I had another model open, but I was just practicing away. Alright. First thing we're going to do is we're going to change the name of this. We're going to call this 3D name on a string. Alright, now to get started with, if you have the instructions and you're following along, we're going to turn to the second page. We don't need to worry about the MakerBot replicator or any of that stuff with the 3D printing template. And we're going to go find our 3D tool set. So just give me a moment as I search for that here. I believe it's in one of these. Come on, little fella. Ah, right there. So the one with the rectangle, and we're looking for the big A. It's 3D text. So I'm going to recommend for this that you use all caps for this. It just makes this assignment much easier. So just put your caps lock on or hold your shift key. And I'm going to type in what you want for your word or words. Okay. Now we're going to go with a 2-inch height, and we're going to go with 3/8 of an inch for the text extrusion, so how thick it is, how much it's pulled out. Currently I've got it set to bold. The default is regular. Change it to bold. Change that height because that's not the default either. I believe it's 1 foot. And then choose one of these fonts that are here. Doesn't really matter which one since you have it set for caps lock, but yeah, I'm just going to go with a simple Open Sans. We'll say there. We're going to see how it's glued to my move cursor. I'm just going to paste it at the origin, generally the easiest place to find things. And then I'm going to go to zoom extent so we can actually see what we're working on. Zoom out a little, and orbit around, and H is your shortcut for panning. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to zoom or orbit around to this other side. Now, they did suggest in the instructions to add an I at the end of it. Since we're using caps, we don't really need to do that. So you don't need to go ahead and add that extra I onto the end of your word. Alright, so moving on then, we're already on to page number 4 of these instructions. And so the next thing, actually we're good with our scale. Our scale is good. We've already set how big everything is. Okay. Well, we're skipping along to page 6 of the instructions now. This is where it actually starts to come together. We are going to grab our rectangle tool, so R for the shortcut, or over here, and near the end of this word, we're going to the top edge, we're going to make a rectangle. And it doesn't really matter what size we make this because we're going to place it. So click, release, drag, place it, and then we're going to make this so that it is 0.1, comma, 0.1, enter. So basically a 1/10 of an inch. That's generally a good size, good enough for this to print and be able to get a string through no problem afterwards. Okay, so next thing that we're going to do then is and you'll see that that automatically resized that, right? So we're going to get our hit our space bar, get our select tool, go up there. We're going to double click on that. If you're having trouble doing that, you can just draw a box around it. But we're going to select that square that we just made, and all the parts of it. We're then going to get our move tool. Remember, move is also M for the shortcut. And we're going to grab onto it at the midpoint on the left side. So we're going to grab there, we're going to move it, and we're going to get it to match up with the midpoint at the side of our first letter, right there. We're going to drag it back over. You notice I didn't click though. I could click and then I could move it again, but if I just hover over that spot for a minute, you see how it's got the green dots? Well, that's just allowing us to line it up from that point. So from that point over, we are going to make this about 0.2, so it says in the book between 0.15 and 0.2 inches over. So I'm going to go 0.2, and it does not look quite right, so I'm going to redo that move. So Control Z, remember, is to fix it. So I'm going to try that other method, like I said, of just placing it at the midpoint. And then I'm going to click again, and drag it this way. Now I'm going to try 0.2, enter. There, that's more like it. We just want to double check that this is not going to end up, say, in the middle of one of these B's, or halfway through would be worse yet. So, or in the of this arc right here. So it looks like it's going to be okay. If we were worried about it, we can move it back. I'm going to move back, I guess, 0.05. That looks a little better. Okay. Now, next thing we're going to do is we're going to get our push-pull tool. So P for the shortcut. We're going to push this rectangle all the way back, and we're going to make it exaggerated even a little longer than the end of our last letter. If you can't see it all, you can zoom out and see it, and that will work just fine. Okay, next thing that the instructions tell you is to explode it. So right now, what we mean by that is that this blues, the 3D text, is a component. So we don't want it to be a component anymore, we need to explode it. And you know something is a component or a group when you click on it and the whole thing is selected, not the individual parts of it. So we're going to right click, we're going to explode. Boom. Alright, not quite the big excitement we were hoping for. Okay, next thing that we're going to do then is we're going to leave this all selected, and if we clicked off of it, or for some reason the last time I did this it didn't leave everything selected, we're going to select it all, we're going to right click on it, and we are going to say intersect faces with model. Now by doing that we should have some lines along here. Previously there was no line connecting this, so that's basically what intersecting with the model is meaning. Okay, next part that we're going to do now that we've intersected that is we can actually skip in the instructions the part on page 9. So we're going to get our eraser out now. So E for the shortcut.
The photocopier.
So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to erase our lines, or our rectangle here that we pushed all the way through, connecting these. So we're just going to go ahead and erase all of these and get in the point. I've gone ahead and erased all the rest of those lines connecting, and the next thing then it's asking us to do is to go in and turn on our X-ray. So still haven't quite figured out where the X-ray tool is in these toolbars, so I'm just going to type in X, and we're just going to turn our X-ray view on. And what that's going to allow us to do is to check, is this going like halfway through one of these curved areas? We want to make sure then that that we can see where the string holes are inside each letter, and that it's looking like it's going to work pretty well. So especially the curved shapes are the ones that we really want to worry about, and that's looking really good. Okay, now that we've seen that that's working well, just going to go back and turn our X-ray back off. We're going to flip the page over. We're now on page 11 of the assignments, and so now we need to go through and we're going to delete the ends of each of these. So the easiest way to do this is we're going to hold Control and select just the face, not the lines, just the face of that square. Orbit around, zoom in, hold Control. Oops. That's sometimes the issue, is that if you accidentally click on a part that you didn't want to click on, it's being difficult, then this way doesn't work as well. We could just click on one, hit the delete key, easier to hold Control, usually. Hold Control, select that face, or as many faces as you want, and delete those. So we've got a few more to go. We're going to do that on all sides, right, so that you can see all the way through. So hold Control. And hit delete. Now I believe we have them all gone, and we should be able to tell by, yep, we can see all the way through. Perfect. Okay, next thing then that we're going to do is we're going to check to see whether this is manifold or not. So manifold print is very important with 3D printing. Manifold means that is it watertight, and it's necessary for printing. It means that your model is completely closed with all the outside faces facing out. And you'll notice that these have different colors. This one's a little bit more shaded in the inside, right? So whereas the outside colors are white. Okay, so we're going to try to change that so it's easy to see. We're going to basically flip some of these over so that they're the other side facing out. If it's a little bit confusing, it'll be more clear here in a minute. We're going to go to our Styles tab, and under Default Styles, we're going to go down to this one right here, which is 3D Printing Style. So we've chosen our 3D printing style, and then we're going to edit this style. And I've already done some of these, so it's going to ask me to change this. And we're going to change the font color, or the front color, sorry. So the front color, everything that's white right now, we're going to make it a bright color, like bright red, just so we can easily see what that is. We can change the other one too, so there's no confusion. We'll go with like a bright green color. And now we can easily see the difference between those. Okay. And then we're gonna, oh, I forgot to save that. I'll show you how we did that again. So 3D print style, edit, change the color. This is one thing that's kind of annoying to me, but that if you don't click the done button, then it will not save what you just did. Let's just stick with the blue. Done. Come on, little fella. Done. Okay, there. Now I'm going to shrink this off to the side. So you see that all of these blue areas, we now want to make those red, because that's the inside of it, and we don't want to see the inside. We want to make that part of the outside. So basically we can hold Control if we want to do more than one at once, and we can then right click on it and say reverse the face, and then it's going to change it blue so that it's reversed now. And we're going to do that to everything that has that blue color on the outside. We're going to want to change that up, and you see that if I zoom inside of a letter, the whole inside is blue, so they're opposites. Okay, and can be a little disorienting if you have multiples that you have to go through, but keep in mind wherever you put your mouse, point your mouse at, that's where it's going to zoom to. So I'm going to reverse those faces. And we're just going to go through and do that on all of these. Okay, so once you've done that, you've reversed the faces of them all, just go back through, make sure that there are none of the inside color left, and it looks like mine's all good, so that would be ready to print. Now this is currently an SKP file or a Sketchup file. We cannot 3D print from these, so if you are ready to 3D print, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to go up here to your export menu, or to your main menu, click on export. We're going to export this as an STL file, and STLs are for 3D printing. So that's what you would need to have in order to print it. We can also do our solid inspector just to make sure is this ready to print, and we need to select the entire thing first. So we're going to run that inspector. It's not letting us, so they're not groups, so we guess we got to make this a group first. I'm getting used to using this solid inspector, and it hasn't been a real smooth transition. We're going to make that a group, and then we'll do that. So just saying that our main issue here is just that we have short edges. Well, our short edges can't be helped. It's just the nature of that this is a small project. Okay, we have printed multiples of these and they still work out fine. So I hope you've enjoyed learning about this, and I hope this helps you creating your own name on a string. If we wanted to, we could certainly go ahead and do a keychain similarly, and if you wanted to, you could just by joining these together. Or you could do a 3D text and then join them together by adding a plate down below, so something like, no, this is just a quick throw together, but like that, and then pull it down a bit, and maybe pull that out even more, a little more, and you could add a circle or whatever it might be for a place for the key hook to hook onto. So we could do that as well. Of course, I would take more time in aligning everything, but lots of options for this project, and I hope you've had fun and learned something while doing so. Okay? All right. Have a great day.